Hey guys, how's everyone doing today? I hope good. I know it's been a minute since I've been on here, but life was lifing, and you know how it goes. And I'm still posting on Facebook though, just so everyone knew that I was okay. But I wanted to share a couple oracle cards with you today. The first was from the Mind Info Oracle, and the card I pulled was Abundance. Glasses. So it says that you're being asked to open to abundance, to believe that you're deserving of it, and to believe that it will flow to you. This is the first important step towards receiving it. Breathe deeply and trust that it's on its way. So you have to, believe you deserve things when you're manifesting or praying. And I've talked about it before. Jesus would say, what you ask for and you believe in faith, you will receive. In manifesting what you believe that you already have, you will draw that towards you. And a lot of it has to do with the energy. If your energy is flowing positively, positive things will happen to you in life. If you're, in a negative way and you have negative energy, obviously negative things are going to pull towards you. Just like positive and negative, and it works in real life situations too. It really does. So, and I know that for a fact because I lived most of my life in negativity. Even though I smiled on the outside, inside, everything wrong happens to me. I never this. Our family, it is growing up to our family never has money. Our family never has good luck. If it wasn't for bad luck, we'd have no luck at all. So I carried those things and more. Whatever we hear as children, we're learning from the adults around us. So we're absorbing that, and we're going to take that with us in our lives. And throughout my adult life, well, money doesn't grow on trees. Our family has to work really hard, and we don't really have any luck. I never win at anything. I always said that. And in the past probably 5 years or so, I've really tried to work on that, on the belief clearing. So, and that's one of the certifications, the first one that I ever got. And it wasn't to get certified, it was trying to fix myself, because from what I was learning, it was my own beliefs that were keeping me down. It was my own, self-sabotage that was keeping me down. And it's proven that changing your thought patterns, changing the beliefs, using positive affirmations in place, eventually will train your mind to start thinking more positive, and then you will start attracting positive things in your life. I feel like I just got lost in that explanation, but it's really true. So, and then another card that fell out when the abundance fell out was a line. And this one says, you are being asked to align with your current situation, even if it's not easy to do so. Trust that there is much to be learned by being here. Pushing against what is will only make things harder on you. Align, surrender, and trust. So that's the thing too with my healing, and I like to share that with others as well. It took me being alone with my own thoughts to start healing. I shoved everything down. I pretended everything was okay, and all of the everything that happened to me from childhood on, I just shoved everything down and walked around smiling and pretending everything was okay. Well, it took a toll on me. And what I've learned through my studies is that it does. It takes a toll on your body. It takes a toll on your organs. It's stress. Chronic stress, stress kills. We've all heard that. Because it affects your organs, your heart, your liver, all of it. I was having issues with my gallbladder, and I was having issues with my kidneys. I was in such really bad shape. I started losing tremendous amount of weight, and I really wasn't eating or sleeping well, but it was a drastic amount at once, and I was scared. For the first time, me laying there wanting, I don't want to be here anymore. I wish there was a way out where I wouldn't hurt my family. I was really there. Really, really there. And what saved me was reaching out to a friend who had an extra room. I went in, and instead of laying there depressed like I always did, or forcing myself around and pretending everything was okay, I couldn't do that anymore. I was at the very strand of my rope, the last string hanging. I was clinging on and didn't want to anymore. I was tired. I was tired of clinging on. I was tired of hearing things will get better. Oh, things will get better. I was 58 years old. I had just turned 58 years old. And no, things weren't getting better. So again, I went to my friends. I didn't know what I was doing or what I wanted. I didn't know myself. And I talk about that in some of my posts. That we lose ourselves when we wear the masks and we pretend we're okay, or you know what I mean. If you're here following me and you've been through a lot of trauma, especially childhood, it forms your brain, it wires your brain while you're developing. And you're going to do that. You're going to people please. You're going to do everything that you can to make other people happy because you're so you don't want that chaos. You don't want it. So you're going to people please. You're going to pretend you're a certain. I can't tell you how many situations I've been in my life where I was enjoying myself. I was having fun, but it wasn't really me. It wasn't my thing. But I pretended it was my thing, and not even pretend. You again, if you're dealt with a lot of trauma, you know what I mean. You put different hats on, like it's nothing. It's not even hard. You just fall into whatever they're doing, or and how I came upon all of this. A couple years back, someone had said, "What do you like to do for fun?" I don't know. I like all kinds of things, which is normal. And then I thought of the things that normally that I would be, taken to do in relationships. I'm kind of talking about now. I like bowling. I like playing pool. I like going to concerts, and I do like those things. But they were things that people I've dated in the past like to do. So yeah, I love it. But I do like bowling and I do like playing pool. But when I kept sitting back and thinking, but what do I like? What do I enjoy? Even to this day, as I'm sitting here saying it to you guys, I don't know. I like music. I would rather sit by myself and listen to music. That's what I like. I know that's not normal. It's really not. It's not. It's not healthy to seclude. And I do that when I'm depressed and I'm going through things. That's why sometimes you don't see me. I'm working on those beliefs so I don't stay in that depression. So I don't want you to think I'm just laying there depressed. I'm doing things. I'm moving. I'm going through the motions. But I know I'm not all the way there to show up for you guys. So that's why I kind of hold back. And then I actually thought yesterday, excuse me, I really need to do a video. Because I have been MIA so long, and I know some of you were, quite a few people reached out to me and said I was helping. What I was doing was, well, I'm not fixed, so who am I to come out here and try to fix someone else or help someone? But I realize that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to fix anyone. I don't have all the answers. I'm not fully healed. I don't think you ever really fully are. And that's a tough one to it depends on how you think about things, but I just feel like things always come up. So maybe it doesn't mean I'm not healed, but there's always something to heal from. Life's going to hit us. Life's going to happen. Life's going to life. And as far as I have come in the past year, I'm 59 now. So from last year at the bottom of the barrel, not wanting to be here anymore, secluding and all of that, it saved me. And I guess that's where I was going. So sorry, I go off topic and I don't use scripts. I'm just me sitting here with you sharing. I don't know what. Sometimes I have no idea what I'm going to talk about. That's why I wanted to start off with the cards, but it kind of really made me think about all of this, the manifesting, the beliefs, how we create our life, the words that we speak, what we think in our heads is creating everything. It's creating our life. So what I'm getting at, I guess, is if you're still in that spiral and things are still, you're not happy and things are still happening around you that you feel like you don't have control of, if you don't know who you are and you don't even know what you like, it's really time to step back and take your own power back and take control of your life. you have to do the work. It's not going to happen for you, and a magical miracle is not going to arise, because I've, even with all the studies and all the things I've done, I've still waited for, I'm going to put on this hypnosis tape and wait for it to change me. It's not going to change you if you don't continue doing the work, because I've listened to hypnosis tapes since I was 19 years old on my Walkman, a little cassette, pop it in and go to sleep at night and listen to it. Was for weight loss, which I didn't need. And it didn't, I don't know if it worked or not. It was a long time ago. And I didn't need to lose weight. That's what I mean. I needed probably, could have used to exercise and just get, I don't know, not even. So that's what I mean. Like, but I didn't do the work. I listened to the tape, but I didn't practice anything daily. I just expected it to change me. And now they have the subliminal, the sounds. You listen to the certain sounds and it's supposed to do this or change or rewire. It will. The techniques that I've been studying, the hypnosis, tapping, EFT tapping. You guys, I'm sure you've heard of tapping. If not, look it up, or I talk about it, and I even do tapping in one of my other videos. And NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, all of these tools, the belief clearing, all these tools together do work. They're proven to work. And that's why I was studying them, took them on, and realized they were helping me. But they didn't continue helping me, because then I gave up and I stopped doing the work. Journaling is really important. If you can't save a journal and you don't want it around or don't want other people to read it, write it down on a piece of paper and throw it away, flush it, rip it, burn it, whatever you can, have to do. But writing it out and being with yourself, and that's what I was kind of getting to, take some time alone with yourself and let those thoughts arise. What really is weighing on you? What's keeping you from doing what makes you happy? What keeps you in these repeated relationships and these spirals and these cycles? What's doing it is limited beliefs and self-sabotage. So it's whatever you're telling yourself, so what's the main thing? For me, for a while, it was just that I'm not good enough. I was even sitting in a job. I was managing in a community in Florida. I was a licensed community manager. I was in charge of the day-to-day business, the financials, all of the business stuff, permits and licenses, and making sure everything was done on time. And I would sit there all the time and look around and be like, I'm in charge? They're trusting me to handle all of this? And on top of it, I had to make sure the residents were paying their dues, their monthly lot rent, or if they were a shareholder, paying their, money they needed to pay to live there. Violations, making sure people were keeping their homes around the area neat, like all that stuff. And I would sit there all the time and say, I'm in charge. They have me responsible. The funniest part is besides the people that just don't like you, and a lot of times it were the people that didn't follow rules. They didn't like rules, and I would tell them to don't live in a community where you have rules. I would never live in an HOA if I absolutely had to, I guess, but I would never choose to, because I don't want to be told what to do or how to keep my grass or whatever. So anyway, those were usually the people that didn't like me, the ones that were in trouble a lot. But I had some residents tell me I was the best manager they had in 10 years. I still didn't believe it. People are telling me, and I know the kind of people that were there. Some of them aren't going to sugarcoat. They don't care. It was a resident 55 and up. So how I'm 59 now. I don't give a shit. I'm going to tell you how I feel. So yeah, even when I was told I was doing a good job, it wasn't enough. So it was my limiting beliefs. Even sitting in that position, I still wasn't good enough. I didn't belong there. Doing what I do here now, having all of these credentials, and I'm a practitioner of belief clearing and hypnosis and NLP. I don't like to put myself out there, because it's like, oh, well, who am I to say that I can do this or can help someone? I've spent a lifetime dealing with trauma and still hanging on and still here and still believing there was hope. And something kept me there and kept me thinking those things for a reason, because I feel that I am here to help people. And again, I don't have all the answers, But I'm here to share with you what I've learned, and belief clearing and those thoughts and being mindful of what you tell yourself and what you speak about others. That all of that comes into play with all of this. So again, because I don't use a script and I just talk, I have no idea where I was originally going with any of this. I just share, like I said, what I know and what I've learned with you guys. And so far, everyone has thanked me and liked what I'm sharing. So, you know, but yeah, you have to take your own power back. You have to be in control of your own happiness. You have to take control of your own thoughts. People have thousands and thousands of thoughts every single day. And I guarantee if you just sit back one day and try to be mindful, how much you beat yourself up. How many negative thoughts do you tell yourself and tell about others? Because it's what we hear, it's what we see. And especially now, you go on Facebook and it's, um, you know, it's just such hatred out there. It's just, badgering everyone and, oh, your hair and making fun of other women. We should be trying to lift each other up, you know. And it's just the bickering and the fighting and the abuse and politics and all of that. It's just disturbing. So that's why I try to share this kind of stuff on here. Ways to get out of that and maybe not be there. Maybe if you're one of those who've been abused and abandoned and all of the things like I've been through, some of us don't come out happy and trying to help others. Some of us are bitter and angry. And I went through some years like that. Drinking heavily, using drugs, just being angry with everyone. It was everybody's fault. And some things were, and I talk about that in some videos too. You have a right to be angry or to blame someone if their choices caused you. If their choices originally caused you to have to make a decision that you weren't prepared to make, and now the choice has put you in a bad situation or you have other people judging you, why would you do that? I wouldn't have even had to make a decision between these limited choices if it weren't for your decision originally. So I want to talk about that with you too, because that's really important. It's not me blaming the world. It's not me blaming you for all of my decisions that I've made since, but a decision that you made caused me to have to make a decision when I wasn't prepared, and I didn't have many very good choices to choose from. So that's something for those of you, if someone's watching this and you don't have trauma and you just happen to be watching, when someone asks you to acknowledge that a decision you made caused them havoc or, grief or whatever in their life, own up to it. I own up to shit that I did, and even after. I made some stupid choices. I've hurt people. I didn't mean to. I've never, ever wanted to hurt anyone. Inadvertently, I hurt people when I'm fight, flight, or freeze. When I take off and run away and just leave the situation because I can't or don't know how to deal with it. I'm sorry, and I apologize to people for that. The fight, when I'm, fighting back and arguing and miserable and all of those things and, attacking someone back, or freeze or just sit there numb and not speak and not do anything. I've done them all. And there's fawning. Fawning is the people pleasing. So how many of you have been in fight, flight, or freeze or fawn for most of your entire lives? So that's why you have to start learning to forgive yourself for decisions that you made while in fight, flight, or freeze or fawn. Forgive yourself for those decisions because it might have been all that you had. And you're still sitting here. I can't talk. Lately, I've been kind of trying to steer away a little bit from the term survivor. I'm no longer a victim. I refuse to be a victim. Anything that happened to me happened for a reason. I might not know what it is. I might not like it. If I do know what it is, I might not ever know what it is, but I have to know and I have to believe that everything happens for a reason. I'm here for a reason, and I have to keep chugging along, and I can't let someone else's beliefs or someone else's what they think about me affect me. I can't drag that along with me. I know I went off topic again, so like I said, I know that's what I do. But all in all, I think I'm getting my message across. Take control of your own life. Believe that you deserve things. Believe that you deserve happiness, because you do. We all do. We deserve abundance. We deserve the beautiful things in life. We really do. For a long time, I would look at other people and think, wow, I wish I could have that. But I didn't feel deserving of it. I didn't think I deserved it. Why not? Because of my beliefs, my self-sabotage, my limiting beliefs. That's what I do. I try to help you turn those beliefs around. So like I said, when I just wasn't doing videos, it wasn't because I was laying around depressed. I was still putting, messages out, still creating, still doing, but I just didn't feel up to being on camera and talking. And that's okay. I started to beat myself up for it and thought, oh my God, it's been weak. How long has it been since? It doesn't matter. I have to do what's best for me, because I'm the only one that's going to make me happy. And I choose happiness, and I talk about that too. You have to choose, like I said, choose to change your thoughts, tell yourself you love yourself, you forgive yourself for everything that you've done, you forgive others. You can blame, like I said, someone that caused something that you didn't want, and that you had to make decisions. Well, you have to forgive them too. But you have to start forgiving yourself first. And then little by little, you can forgive those other people. And I always say healing trauma. Well, I don't always say. I say it to myself. I don't know how many times I've said it on camera. But healing trauma is very similar to doing like the 12 steps, for drug or alcohol abuse. If you really think about it, there's a lot of forgiveness. There's a lot of understanding your own things, and they're not the same. I wrote a post actually a while back when I first started this about the 12 steps of healing. So that should be on my Facebook if you guys want to check it out. Whispers of the Wounded Soul. Yeah, and if you don't know who I am, I'm Christine. I'm the founder and owner of Whispers of the Wounded Soul, the author of Turning Wounds into Wisdom, Learning and Healing from Trauma. I share my life story in a very, it's not a thick book. I share the traumas in my life, I should say, and then how I dealt with it and how I coped and how I've learned to cope in a better way. And I share that with you at the end of each chapter. I also wrote a companion journal called Whispers of Healing, The Wisdom Within, and that you can use as along with this book or just use it on your own. And that's kind of like a shadow work book. And like I said, journaling and getting in touch with yourself and letting those feelings come up and finally processing them and handling them. That's what that journal did. And that was how I ended up here. I ended up making this page. I ended up making the Facebook page and writing a book while I was healing. And when I asked that friend if I could get away. So instead of laying there depressed like I wanted to do and just give up on life, for some reason, I still had that nudge that always kept me going. But this time that nudge was like, you need to share with other people, because there's other people out there that want to give up too. And I've lost a lot. I've lost a lot of friends that gave up, that couldn't do it anymore. And it kills me, because now I wonder if maybe I could have helped them if I knew these things or practiced them back then. But yeah, so that's why I wanted to share some things with you. And before I go, I wanted to share an animal spirit card, a spirit of animals, I should say. And these are always some nice little cards too. So we got like 23 minutes. I was trying not to make this video too long. So we have the dragon. I'm trying to reach for my glasses. We have the dragon, supernatural. You are the ancient wise sage. You can shape-shift at will. Mastery is your destiny. Rise with dignity. So technically, shape-shifting, you can shape-shift at will. Technically, I'm taking that as you can change your thought at will. You can change what you're doing, right? At will, at that moment, like I just was saying. And this one, we have the heron, patience, create a place in nature's stillness and be renewed. Take time alone to find balance. Step confidently towards your purpose. Patience will bring you rewards. So let's see. We're going to do this one that I had pulled from, where's the book? I didn't pull that book out. All right. Oh, well, I guess that message wasn't supposed to be heard. But one I got from the Ancestors and Angels and Ancestors card was the Knight. And I wanted to read that message with you, or to you, for you. This is why I used to not post, because I would sit and watch them and be like, oh my God, look how I sound, or look what I said, or whatever. And now I'm like, whatever. I'm human. I make mistakes. I am far from perfect. So the Knight, be brave and honest. Do the right thing, even if it isn't the easiest option. Stand for what you know to be right and true. The Knight is a knight in shining armor, dedicated to crown what his sword defends. Inspired by the Knight's template, he is a protector of the Holy Grail and therefore of your spiritual growth and expansion. He represents the warrior in you, whether you are male or female. That energy is within you. His sword and armor show that he is courageous and strong, but if you look closely, you will see that he has a tear running down his face, showing his willingness to be vulnerable and his love for what he protects. So what it made me think of here is, as I started to say before, the warrior. So that's what it reminded me of something. When I said about being a survivor and that I'm no longer a victim. So that's what I was trying to talk about. I don't live in that victim mentality anymore. I forgave those, like I said, who I used to blame. I forgive myself. And I'm no longer, I don't want to just be called a survivor. I'm a warrior. And we all are. If you're still here after a lifetime of trauma, you're a warrior. You know, people survive things all the time, but fighting every single day to wake up, to get out of bed, to live, to heal, to work on this, to come and watch a video. That's a warrior, when you just keep going and going and going and you don't give up. It's not just surviving. It's you taking charge of your own life. So be a warrior. Be a warrior of your life. Choose happiness. Choose a different path. If you're spiraling and always in the same situations, ask yourself, why do I keep making this decision? Why do I keep choosing these people? Well, it's some type of limiting belief that you're carrying around inside you. Something about yourself, or something about relationships, or something about money. Whatever your issue is, you're carrying limiting beliefs. They'll crush you. And they almost did. They almost crushed me. But now, like I said, I take charge of the thoughts, and I don't allow myself to go there. I just don't. It's not easy, and I don't always do it immediately. Sometimes I'm there, all of a sudden I'm sitting there and can't even believe this is all of that. And then all of a sudden, hello, remember, positive, your thoughts are creating, and then I change them around. Okay, everything always works out for my highest good. Everything always works out for my highest good. In this situation, only good things will come out of it. Even if I don't understand why, everything happens for a reason, for my highest good. You have to just start learning to believe that. Otherwise, you stay there in that depression or in that misery or wherever you are, and things aren't going to change. I've been there 58 years. Things will get better. No, they're not. Nothing gets better, because I was still doing the same thing. Right? You keep doing the same thing, you're still going to come up with the same. It just doesn't make any sense. And then that's when you realize, okay, I'm taking charge. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not making those choices anymore, because I love me. I have boundaries. I have worth. What makes me think I'm not good enough? What makes me think I'm not beautiful? What makes me think I'm not enough? Or what makes me think I'm too much? The words, the voices, the other people, they don't matter. Your love and your validation and everything has to come from inside of you, and that's when happiness will start following. All right, I'm going to stop lecturing. Talk to you guys soon. I'm not making any promises, but I'm hoping to be back on here more often. I hope you liked the messages, and if you did, please follow, please share. Hop on over to my Facebook page, Whispers of the Wounded Soul. Hop on over to Instagram. I'm there too if you're not on Facebook. People were trying to get me to do TikTok, and I'm really not sure. I've never even, I don't even know much about it. And even Instagram, I'm not very good. Sometimes I'll share posts over there, but you know, it's Facebook I seem to be on the most in the YouTube channel. But make it a good day. Call your power back. Be strong. You know, and this isn't just for women. You know, there's a lot of men out there struggling and hurting too. I obviously talk more about women because I'm a woman and I know what we think and things that we deal with. But I know a lot of men do too. A lot of you Mr. Moms out there caring for families because she took off. So it goes both ways. So, all right, guys, I'll stop yapping. Have a good day.